Hi guys, Cliff here with the looploft.com. Layering drum loops and breaks over your program drums is a great way to add a humanized feel to your music. So today we're going to use a few tools in Ableton Live to add some movement and spatial effects to a drum loop from our Funk Essentials Volume 4 collection. For this song, I want the loop sample to provide the shuffle and the groove, while the program kick and snare anchors everything a bit more rigidly. So the first thing that we're going to do is use a technique called sidechain compression. And for those who don't know, sidechain compression basically uses another instrument's input to dictate how a compressor works on a track. So we're going to load up an instance of Live's compressor onto our live drum track. And this contains the acro loop from our Funk Essentials Volume 4 library. And in order to enable sidechain compression, you have to open this caret, hit sidechain, and then you're going to tell the compressor what it should be listening for in order to dictate when it works. So in this case, I want the kick drum from our MIDI drums to trigger everything off. So I'm going to go to Audio 2, or Audio From rather, and select MIDI drums. And then in this drop-down menu, I'm selecting the kick rack pre-effects. And I'm selecting this pre-effects because I want to be able to set this compressor, and then if I change things on the kick channel down the line, I won't have to go back and adjust the settings here. Okay, so let's just fire off this example so we can start to adjust. Okay, so this is our drum bus. Let's actually mute this. So the threshold dictates where the compressor kicks in. I'm going to add some more release so this pumps a bit more. And we're going to raise the ratio to about 4:1. Now in order for this to kick in quicker, we're going to lower the attack. And now basically what's happening is every time that program kick comes in, you're getting a dip in volume in our live loop. If you want to hear this a bit more extremely, so a lot of boom bap hip hop, a lot of future bass uses this technique a bit more extremely to get that kind of pumping feel. I'm gonna tame it down a bit. Because I want those live drums to really swing out. So the next thing that I want to do is work with Ableton's auto filter. Now the auto filter in Ableton Live 9.5 added some new features, a new circuitry unit, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to do is change the type to a high pass. And I'm doing that so that we can get rid of the really boomy kick drum sounds, because again, I want to use the program kick as our anchor here. So I still want to get the top tone off of the recorded kick, but I don't want it to handle the sub-E register. So you can do that with an EQ, but we're going to use an auto filter for some other effects anyway, so we might as well introduce it now. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is change this circuit type to MS2. Live 9.5 added new filter type, so this emulates the MS20 filter, which has a nice brightness to it. I'm going to use that to add some drive, along with some resonance. And we're going to change the shape of the LFO in the auto filter and start to engage that. This will move the cutoff of the frequency. So you can start to hear the filter opening up and down. Let's lower the attack so it happens a bit quicker. And that extra resonance on the MS20 bleeds in really nicely too. So the last thing I'm going to do on this track directly is engage the auto pan. And the auto pan does just that. It pans the signal around your head automatically. I usually use a pretty extreme amount when we're working with the shuffly groove kind of samples, because again, the anchor is going to be the kick and snare sitting center. Slow down the rate a bit, adjust the phase a bit. You can really do this to ear. I find that when you take things like this out of their default, they stand out a bit more. So just kind of use your ears to dictate what you want to do with it. That's nice. Great. So the last thing that we're going to do to add some additional space and also to sit these drums a little bit better with the rest of the song is send them to our bus reverb. On this bus, we have some of our instrumentation going through it. This is basically a Max for Live plugin called Magnetic, which emulates the old Roland Space Echo. So it adds a nice dark texture and tone to anything you send it through. And I'm going to send our live drums to that. Now with the repeat down really small, we're not getting that large delay sound. We're getting that impression that the sound is just bigger. If you raise this repeat, you'd hear more of a delay. But again, when you use really small values, it just tricks your ear into thinking the sound is bigger than it really is. Down in the mix a bit. So for more upcoming tutorials, the finest loops ever repeated, and to learn more about Drum Direktor, the ultimate beat creator, visit thelooploft.com. Till next time, take care and make some music.